Hey there, and welcome to the Flourish Podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I'm so glad that you are here. If you've been listening at all this month, you know we have been on a journey together. In episode 1, we talked about why you keep starting over and over, and we named that real reason. It was not a motivation problem, but a clarity problem. In episode 2, we went deeper into how we actually identify the direction you're called to build. And I gave you those 3C filters: consistency, cost, and confirmation. And so if you did that work, if you sat down with your journal and got honest about what keeps surfacing for you, today's episode is the next step. What I have found is that most women, once they start to trust their direction, then they'll run into a new problem almost immediately. The direction is there, but it's still so fuzzy. It's too big or too vague or too undefined to actually move forward with it. And that fuzziness is what keeps you stuck at the starting line, even after you've done all the right hard work. So today we're going to talk about focus, specifically how to take that direction that you have identified and get specific enough about how it can actually start building something. Welcome to the Flourish Podcast for faith-driven women who are ready to take responsibility for their health, time, and calling. I'm Stephanie Book, and I coach women to gain clarity, create simple systems, and build intentional structure so they can move forward with consistent, faith-led action in the work God is calling them to build. If you're ready to live and lead with alignment, peace, and purpose, this is the place for you. Let's begin. So I wanted to share something, and I have talked about this before, but I've always really known who I wanted to help. There was a quote by Rory Vaden that I've shared many times. It says, "You are most powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were." And that has always been that guiding light of, oh my goodness, I knew exactly who I wanted to help. I knew I wanted to help her because I had been her. And that was so clear. So not knowing who I was helping wasn't really my problem, but it was that I had so many different ways that I could help her that I was having a trouble land on one thing. You know, I'm a health coach. I can help with content and branding. I care deeply about mindset and clarity. And then I also just love just helping you start a business and get really clear on all those things. None of that was made up. All of that is me, but I can do a lot of things, but it was too hard to try to cover all of them. And when I do offer all of them, no one can really tell what I was going to help. And that just really is overwhelming, including not only for those that you're serving, but for yourself as well. It's just overwhelming and it's not fun. And it just takes all of the fun out of it. I remember sitting down to work on my business and just feeling scattered. Like I had all of these pieces, but no clear picture of what I was actually building. And then the women I was trying to reach could probably feel that too, even if they couldn't name it. So the shift for me was not finding something new. It was getting honest about what tied everything together. What was that one arc, that one transformation, the one thing that I kept coming back to no matter what else I was doing? And when I finally got still enough to answer that question honestly, everything started to get clear. Not perfect, but clear enough to build on. And one little step at a time, like we talk about, is all that it takes. And so that's exactly what I want to help you find today. Let's help you get clear and have focus. So let me describe something, and I want you to tell me if this sounds familiar. You know you want to help women, or you want to build a business from home, or you know you want to do something that's with your faith and your story and your experience. But when someone asks you what you actually do or how you actually help, you kind of almost freeze. Or you give a really long answer that covers everything and nothing at all at the same time. That is fuzzy focus. I actually remember recently, in the fair recent times, I was on a call with a woman and she was asking a little bit about what I was doing. And she was looking for someone maybe to be part of her network or her program. And she was asking me what I do. And she basically said, once you have that clear, once you know exactly where you're helping or who you're focusing on, let's talk again. She already recognized maybe she's a little bit farther ahead in her journey of how she was helping people and helping women and their businesses or whatever her program was offering. But she knew that I had a lot of great things that I was helping, but I wasn't quite clear. And that was a big wake up call for me. Even how I was feeling a little bit scattered or uncomfortable with what I was doing, others were noticing that as well. And if I'm unclear, those around me are going to be unclear. They don't know how I can help them. And so that's why I'm so passionate about this, is because it's going to make all the difference for you as you work your business, but also for those that you serve, because you want to help them. I know you do, but when you have that fuzziness, it just is not moving you forward in any way. And you're doing all that work and it's not hitting the right way. And that's discouraging. And then you, like, again, we feel like you're starting over and over again, like we talked about before. In James 1:8, it says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And that's what a fuzzy focus produces. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you have not been specific enough to move in one clear direction. And that instability, it will show up everywhere, like we've talked about, in your content, in your offers, and really even how you show up in a given day. And this is why it matters. Because when your focus is fuzzy, your content is fuzzy, your offer is fuzzy, your marketing is fuzzy, and the women you are meant to reach they can't see what you're doing because it's not specific enough for her to recognize even herself in it. That fuzzy focus also makes showing up exhausting, because every time you sit down to create content or work on your business, you feel like you're starting from scratch. You don't have a clear enough picture of who you're talking to or what you're helping them do. And so that content feels like a guessing game. The clarity is just not there. But clarity at the focus level is what makes everything else flow easily. Your content gets easier, your offer shows up better, you're more natural because everything is showing up for those that you're helping, and you're more settled in that. You feel better about that. So how do we actually get there? I am going to share a few questions with you that I really want you to sit with and answer as we walk through this. If you're driving, come back to this later or think through this, but make sure that you take some time to really think through this. Write it down, grab something, your notes app, whatever it is, wherever you take those notes, a journal, and really work through these. But right now, if you're driving, you can either pull over the side of the road or just think through it and come back later. So what are these 3 questions? These are 3 focus questions, and I call this part of my focus framework. When you can answer all 3 of these specifically and with confidence, you'll have your focus. So number 1 is, who is she? Again, grab your journal or open your notes app right now and do this. Habakkuk 2:2 says to write the vision and make it plain so that he may run who reads it. That's exactly what we're doing today. We're writing it down and making it plain so you can actually move. Let's work through this together. So you don't want to do this in a general sense, not just women or women in business or Christian women. I mean specific. How old is she? What is her stage of life? What is happening in her world right now? What season is she in? What makes her want to search for what you're offering? What has she already tried? What has not worked? What does she want more than anything? The more specific you can get about her, the more she will feel like you're speaking directly to her. When she encounters your content, and that it specifically is what turns a stranger into a follower and a follower into a client. This is so important. Understanding who she is. Now, like I said earlier, I knew who I wanted to help because I was that person. And that might be very simple for you. But I think naming her more and more and understanding, her demographics, where she lives, how many kids she has, does she have kids, is she married, or is she looking to be married? Whatever it is it men that you're helping? I mean, most of you are women and you're probably helping women, but maybe there's a specific person that you are helping. So identify who she is. And if you're not sure yet, think about, like I said, that version of yourself that you once were. Think about the woman whose struggle you understand so deeply that you could finish your sentences. That woman is probably your who, depending, of course, what you're doing. But that is a great clue to know. Most likely we help people through the things that we've learned or we've grown through ourselves. And so look at maybe the past you, and maybe that is the person you're speaking to, and then you'll know her really, really well. But write down everything that you know about her. Don't edit yet, just put it all on page. You just put it all down. And let's not second guess about it. It's all information. There's nothing wrong about what you're writing down. Just write it down. Okay. So once we have that, the next question is, what is the one thing that you can help her do? Not 5 things, one thing. You've heard me talk about that before. What is the primary transformation you help her through? What does she have before she works with you? What does she get after? This could be really hard because we want to help with everything. And a lot of times we can. Like I said, I'm a health coach. I help with clarity and purpose. I help start a business. I help with content and branding and all of these different things. And those things light me up as well. we see all of our needs and we want to address all of them. But the truth is, you can't try to help her with everything. You need to help. If you try to do that, you're really helping her with nothing, because she can't not tell what you do, and you can't build a clear offer around that. So what is that one thing? The primary result, the main transformation. Okay. For me, I help faith-driven women in midlife reset their mindset, choose their direction, and build meaningful businesses from home. That's one arc. Even though there are a lot of elements inside it, there is a before and there's an after. Everything I do lives inside that arc. So what is yours? Write it down in 1 or 2 sentences. And if you can't say it simply, it's probably not specific enough. And this is really hard. This is where you spend a lot of time. And I know I've been on a lot of trainings, and it's great when I work with one of my mentors and she will have us work through this. And it's crazy how many times she'll have us work through this. And she's like, it should be rolling off your tongue. And I've switched mine a lot. And so I'm still learning how to speak it clearly, but I know that the woman that I want to help is very specific in my mind. And so the more that you work on this, the more it flows, the more your content, the more of everything that you're doing is going to speak to that woman, that one thing, that one problem that you solve. And then things will flow from that. So that is a really important one. Okay. And then question 3 is, why now? This one probably surprises you, but it is important. Why is your who looking for this solution right now? What has happened or is happening in her life that's making her ready or almost ready to invest in that change? So here's the thing. The best offer in the world will not reach a woman who does not yet feel the urgency of her own problem. And when you understand why she is searching for you right now, you can speak directly to that urgency without being pushy or salesy about it, because it's exactly what she needs. So for the women I work with, the why now is often because of a transition. Maybe children are becoming more independent or leaving the house. Maybe there's a career shift, a growing sense that there's a season that something new is going to start, to look back and wonder, what were they waiting for? What is the why now for your woman? Write it down. What is causing her to want this problem right now? If you're in weight release, what is causing her to want that change now? Maybe she's, like I said, I help a lot of women that are in that midlife, in that season of change, but we're all in different seasons of change. So yes, my main woman is a midlife woman looking for a change in this scattered season that she is in, but we all go through different seasons. So my offer will probably help women of all different ages, but I'm going to be specific and help that one woman, but then others can come alongside because they will have something, or your message will resonate with them as well. But we want to be so specific that your girl, that woman that is in your heart and your mind, is thinking, oh my goodness, I need this. This is what I've been looking for. And that's what we want to come to. So when you have all 3 of those, you know who she is, what you're helping her do, and why she is looking for you right now. When you have all those things clear and specific, that is your focus. That is the foundation everything else gets built on. And this is not a one-time exercise. Like I've talked about with my mentor, we'll go over this, because as you grow, your business evolves. It moves. It's a working, they say there's working documents. Like you're a working person, right? You're learning more things. You're becoming more confident in something. And so your offer and how you help is going to become more and more refined. And that's okay. You'll come back to this, and you'll come back to these questions, and maybe you'll refine your answers. You'll get a little more specific over time. And it's not a sign that you got it wrong the first time. It's just a sign that you're growing, that you're changing, you're learning new things. And that's awesome. But you have to start somewhere. And starting with these 3 questions, even if your answers are still a little rough, it's so much better than staying fuzzy. Having a rough focus that you can build on is more useful than a perfect focus. And then you're still waiting. You don't want to be in that space of waiting and refining. Let's refine it enough so you can have a clear idea for right now. And then it can change. It can move with you as you grow. And as you recognize and you learn more about who you're helping, you'll recognize even more of what she needs. But I want you to have this foundation so that you can start moving, so you can feel more clear, you feel more peace as you're moving through your day-to-day and the things that you're doing to build your business. So Give yourself some permission to answer these questions imperfectly and then move forward anyways. That's how clarity actually happens, not in the moment of that perfect certainty, but in the willingness to get specific and take that next step, that next small step. That is going to bring you that progress. It's going to help you identify who that is and really help her. So I want to share something with you. I've talked about it a little bit here, but I think the timing is going to be really great. Next Monday on May 26th, I am hosting a free webinar called From Scattered to Clear, How to Find Your Focus and Finally Know What to Build Next. Friends, I'm so excited because we're going to talk about everything we talked about today, the 3 focus questions, getting specific about who you serve and what you help them do and why now. That is exactly what we're going to work through together live on that webinar. I'm going to walk you through my full focus framework. That was just part 1, and will help you get clear on your direction in real time and give you the tools to actually move forward after we are done. You're not going to leave that webinar the same way you came in, and I just can't wait to walk through that with you. And every woman who attends gets to receive a special gift from me for showing up. It's going to be given at the end of that webinar, and I can't wait to give it to you. I've been working on it a while. So registration is free, and I'll put the link in the show notes. If you've been listening to this month's episode, I know that this is going to be something that's going to be perfect for you. So come in, invite a friend to join you, someone else that might be in the similar season as you are, maybe someone that wants to grow their business. They want to see that clarity, or they're tired of showing up exhausted, feeling like they're starting over and over again. Share this episode with her and then send her the information with a webinar link. I mean, let's do this together because we're better together. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do for a woman around us is put the right thing in front of her at the right time. And what a great way to be a servant to those that you care about. So friends, I want to thank you so much for being with me here today. And as you spend these times with me every Monday on my podcast, I cannot express how grateful I am that you are here. We've covered a lot of things in the last couple of weeks, and I'm really proud of you for showing up for yourself and for the business that you are building. Those women that you are serving, the people that are looking for what you are providing, are going to be so excited that you have that clarity, that you are working toward being so perfectly designed for what they need right now. So I will see you next week at the webinar. Just remember that you are worthy and capable of living that full and flourishing life. Success isn't just possible, it's meant for you. See you soon. Thank you for spending time with me today. If this episode encouraged you, I invite you to take one simple, intentional step forward. You will find many resources linked in the show notes to support you as you build with clarity and faith-led action. If this conversation resonated with you, please share the podcast so that this message can reach other women who are ready to move forward with purpose. Until next time, remember, you are worthy and capable of living a full and flourishing life. Success isn't just possible, it's meant for you.